So just lying down, if you like, you can gradually lie down by contracting the belly as you exhale. And then inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Or you just come down in your own way. And I like to put my feet at the wall on a baseboard. You can have your legs bent if you prefer. And just feel the bottoms of your feet. So either on the wall or on the floor, on the mat. Just feel the bottoms of your feet. Just press into your left foot and then into your right foot as you exhale. It's a short inhale and a longer exhale as you press the foot. Feel the toes. And if you haven't bent your legs, just do that. And you're going to inhale, extend one leg out, and exhale, draw it in. And when you do this, you might want to take your mat and fold it over a bit so that you've got the floor to move on if you've got a floor without a carpet. So inhale, extend the leg long, and then exhale, draw it in. And then the other side. I'm going to keep going with this. Inhale, extend that left leg. If you want, add the left arm. You can point the toe if you like. And then exhale, drag the leg in, drag the heel. And if you like, bringing it all the way to the chest. You can give it a hug if you like. Inhale, extend the leg out and point the toe. And exhale, draw it in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go to the other side. So around 6 times. Inhale, extend. Add the other arm if you like. Exhale, draw the leg in. So you can just come to here or bring the knee all the way to the chest. This is an add-on. Inhale, extend. If you can, push the heel along the floor at the end of the inhale, point the toes, and then exhale, drag the heel with the core. Just warming up the legs. Doing this around 6 times. Inhale, extend, exhale, bend. And one more time. Place the leg down. We're going to do both legs if it's comfortable for you. If not, you can do one at a time. If you're doing it one at a time, it can be easier to start from the straight legs. So doing this kind of movement can be easier. If you can, both legs, exhale, draw both legs in. You can do one at a time if you like. Inhale. And exhale. Try to move the legs with the exhale rather than with the legs. And just finishing up. Now we're going to bring the legs to the sky. So inhale, legs coming up to the sky. Exhale, bringing the legs into the chest. Just keep this going. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. I'm moving the feet as well. If you want to make this a little harder, you can inhale, extend the legs a little bit further away. And exhale, draw them in. Urdhva Praskrita Padasana. Go to the sky, a bit more of an inversion effect. Out away from you, it's more of a strengthening effect. And just rest for a minute with your legs bent or straight legs and just rest. Place your hands on your belly. Just feel that your heart rate has elevated a bit, your breath rate's increased. Okay, so we're going to move on to Dvipadipedam bridge. And for this, I'm going to ask you to take a bolster or a big pillow, and you can bring your mat straight out again. You have a bit more stability under your feet. And put this bolster or pillow between your legs. And in this position, exhale, press into the pillow or bolster and just see how that might activate the core muscles. So this is a way of kind of connecting to your core, or what we call in yoga Mula Bandha, the root lock. Inhale, relax, and exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, and press into the pillow. You might feel that your tail tucks under as you do that, a slight tuck of the tail as the pelvis rotates back anteriorly. Inhale, release. Your back will now have a little bit of a curve under it. And exhale, the tail will tuck under as you exhale from the pelvic floor up to the belly button. Just notice how that moves the pelvis, the breath. So inhale, you'll have an arch in the lower back. And on the exhale, that arch will disappear. So just working with that pelvic tilt, as well as engaging the inner thighs. This is a really good way to connect to the root chakra, the Muladhara. Just activating that space. And the legs as being roots extending to the earth from the pelvic floor. Now, when you're ready on your next exhale, maybe you just lift a little bit higher, just the lower back, and inhale, relax, come down. Exhale, tuck the tail under, and just lift the pelvis, tucking the tail under. Inhale, relax. Exhale, tucking the tail under, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, squeeze the thighs so you don't go very high. Inhale, relax. This feels good. You can keep going, otherwise just repeat what we just did. Exhale, tuck the tail under and lift up. If it feels good, inhale, lift higher. Your knees will come away from the bolster. Lift higher, engage the glutes. Exhale, press into the pillow and roll down. Inhale at the bottom, relax. Exhale, tuck the tail under and lift the hips just a little bit. Inhale, lift higher, the knees move away from the bolster, press into the feet. Exhale, press into the bolster and roll down. Feel one vertebrae at a time as you roll down and squeeze into the mula root line all the way to the feet. Inhale, relax. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, tuck the tail under, lift the hips just a little bit. Inhale, lift the lower back higher. The knees are away from the pillow bolster. Lift as high as you can. Exhale, press into that bolster and roll down one vertebrae at a time from the top of your spine down to your lower back. Inhale, release. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, lift the pelvis, lift the hips. Inhale, lift higher, knees away from the bolster, press into those feet. Exhale, press into the bolster. Now stay here if it's comfortable, otherwise go up and down. So if you can do this next stage, I'm going to draw my shoulders underneath a bit more. Inhale, lift as high as you can. The knees are away from the bolster. Exhale, press into the bolster. And just feel the grounding feeling you get from pressing in. Inhale. This may be extremely helpful if you're feeling unrooted in any way from a life event now or a past one that's been triggered. This kind of work can just really help reroot us through our Muladhara, that root from the pelvic floor down the legs into the feet. The ancients called this the mula, the root. And it's about safety, security. So if you have that feeling in your body or mind of feeling unsafe, this can be a good embodied way to just encourage that feeling through the body. When you're ready, release, coming down. And just relax for a minute. Remove that bolster. And you could be using a big bed pillow. And as our counter pose, We're just gonna do some windshield wipers side to side. I'm just gonna move my mat a little bit more to the center. Have your feet as wide as the mat, your arms at the side, whatever height feels good for you. Your feet could be together if you feel more secure in your back moving this way. You could also put a block between your legs and tie that block with a belt. I'm going to do it with my legs apart. Inhale here. Exhale. You're going to bring your knees to the left. We're doing this as a counter to Dviparapidam bridge. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. You can turn your head slightly to the opposite side if that's okay on your neck. You do turn your head to the side, bring the back of the head to the opposite side. It will want to make your neck uneven with the rest of you. Try to bring the back of the head away from the direction you're bringing your knees towards. I'm going to say that again. Bring the back of the head towards where your knees are. That works better. That's funny. I never really thought of that. It's funny. Yeah, the back of the head goes towards the knees, but the head twists away from the knees. Inhale, center. Now think about the breath. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Now hold after exhale. Draw the belly in and up and hold. 1, 2. Pull up on the Mula Bandha, that root. Inhale, release. Relax the belly as you come to the center. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Twisting the other direction, back the head towards those knees, and then hold after exhale. 1, 2, inhale. And last time, exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Draw everything in and up, hold. 1, 2, inhale. And bringing the feet wide. For this next one, you might want to have the mat folded, give you a bit more cushion. You could also put a blanket under your legs, your feet rather, if you have a bunion. I know one of you has some bunion problems. So as we do this, you might feel your bunions are not too happy. When I get that feeling, I start doing my toe stretching again. It's just a reminder I need to do more toe stretching. So inhale, center, exhale, bring one knee towards the opposite big toe. This will get into the hip and the thigh and the knee. So my teacher in India, Mr. Sridhar, uses this often when there's a knee problem to get into the thigh. Often knees will be very unhappy when the thighs are too tight. So it's like an Ekapada Virasana. If you want to do that classical pose, go for it. This is the dynamic version. We are going to stay in the pose after a few more rounds. Just keep trying to stretch the knee towards the big toes. That will give you that stretch through the psoas and the thigh. Now, when you're ready, maybe stay here. Now that other leg that's up, it can stay there. You can put, so my right knee is up. I can put my right hand underneath that buttocks, get a little bit deeper. You can also bring that left arm up overhead. And I'll just show, I know you of you in the class are teachers, yoga therapists, you could be doing a Kapata Virasana like this, okay? Don't do this if this is not part of your practice, but this is where we're going with this pose. So I'm only showing that for a minute. Be very careful of that. You can definitely hurt your knee. Let's go to the other side. So inhale, center, exhale, bringing the right knee towards that left big toe. And we're going to just stay here. If you want, you could bring that left hand under the left buttocks. That might feel like it takes you a little bit deeper. And some of you can bring the foot all the way to the side. And when you're ready, release. Let's bring that left leg into the left foot into the hand. If this does not work for you, use a belt on your foot. So if this is not happening for you, okay, so you've got some options. You can hold under your thigh with your hands. If you don't have a belt, you can hold your ankle, or you can hold your little toe side of your foot or your big toe. Or you can use a belt on your foot. You can have that right leg bent or straight. If you straighten it, you'll get more stretch in the hip. Inhale, stretch the leg long. Exhale, bend. So again, you can be doing this with a belt. Inhale, stretch the leg long. Exhale, bend. I'm going to show it with the belt because I think some of you will be doing that. Just keep going. Just want to make sure this is clear. Whatever feels better in your body, okay? When you're ready, stay in the position. This is like a supine lunge. It's getting into the hips, into the hamstrings. It's getting into the other end of the hamstrings, closer to the knee. There's 3 of them. It's hard to get to that point. This definitely stretches that. And when you're ready, switching sides. So again, you can use a belt on your foot. However you want to use it, there's different ways. You know, you could be holding it like that, like this. You can stretch that left leg long or have it bent. I prefer not to have a belt for this one. You can also hold the big toe or behind the thigh. So inhale, straighten the leg, exhale, bend. I'm just going to keep showing different variations. Hopefully one of them will work for you. It's a nice simple one, just holding behind the thigh. Using the belt gets into the foot a bit more, which is nice. And oh, I can feel my hamstrings. Did a lot of walking today, and oh, I can feel those. So yes, this definitely works those hamstrings. So notice one side's different than the other. It's always a bit of a surprise when you practice what shows up. It's a little bit of a check-in with how the body-mind is doing on any given day. Always a little different if you hold that big toe. So each position that you do with your hands, it has actually kind of a different effect. So it's good to play with what's going to work best for you. When you're ready, stay in the position. So if you can stretch that left leg long, that's a nice variation. And always have that leg bent. I think of this as a supine lunge. When you're ready, maybe both legs. This one I know is good for some of the lower backs in the room. Almost everyone has had lower back pain at some point in their life. And if you have a lot of sway in your lower back, this is one of the best poses I know for counteracting that. This is not a Chennai pose. I taught it to my teacher, Mr. Streeter, and he said, very good for your lower back. And I'm like, yep. If you could hold the little toe side, great. The big toes, you can also hold, sorry, I didn't cue this very well, behind the thighs. That can work really well, getting deeply into the lower back. Ankles, you could have two belts. And you're trying to make your lower back nice and flush against the floor. You're actually reducing that curve in the lower back right now. And when you're ready, just bringing the legs to the sky, hands to the sky, and rest here for a moment. And just let the lymphatic system just flush, encouraging the blood moving from the feet and the hands back to the heart, and the lymph picks up all the waste in the body, just encouraging that circulation. Might be feeling some tingling in the hands and the feet. If it's too much, just bend the limbs. I think the kids in the studios call this dead bug pose. It would be called some version of Viparita Karani inversion. All right, when you're ready, release. Okay, so we're gonna keep going with this leg stretching theme. I'm gonna have the belt ready, and I'm gonna have this pillow. You can use the soft block. Mine are all propping up my computer, but you can also use a pillow, or if you have one of those nice soft blocks. Make sure you've got room to move your legs to the sides. So I'm gonna just move my mat again. Myself a bit more room. You can still see me. And we're okay. Let's aim it down a bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of leg movements. It's going to get into the 3 hamstrings. There's 3 of them. And this is from Krishnamacharya's yoga. This variation is how I learned it from an Iyengar yoga teacher many years ago. And I've changed a little bit. Make it more vinyasa based. So you're going to take your belt and make a nice big loop that you can hold your left leg in, your left foot. You put the ball of your foot in the belt and make the belt loop long enough so that when you hold the belt, your shoulders are on the ground. Okay. Your other leg, your right leg, you're going to stretch it nice and long. And if that doesn't work for you, you can have the right leg bent. All right, so whatever works. And as you exhale, just try to drop that hip to the ground. If you need to, you can exhale, bend the leg, inhale, straighten. But if you're ready now, just stay in the position. Done a lot of moving. Let's just see if you can exhale and just drop that left hip down. You won't want to come up. Just try to drop it down. Inhale, release, and exhale, drop it down. Feel the back of the hip going into the floor, and you'll feel the hamstring. If it's too much, on the exhale, bend the leg. You can bend it even this much and inhale, straighten. So this might be better for your knee, might be better for your hamstring to bend on exhale and inhale, straighten. So you decide if you're ready to just stay here now. That right foot could be at the wall. These are all going to be variations of Supta, Eka, Padangustasana. This series is also taught standing, most famously in Ashtanga Vinyasa. This is part of the primary series. It's good fun to do this standing. Well, this is a great way to get very deeply into it. And you're welcome to bend on exhale, inhale, straighten. When you're ready, we're going to bring the leg to the side. Now, my Iyengar teacher used to have us put a block or pillow here just to help keep the hip balanced as you come to the side, because there's a tendency to kind of fall like that. So just bringing the leg to the side, and you'll feel the inner thigh stretching as well as the inner hamstring. Now, if you want to add movement, you can exhale, come to the center, and inhale, open. If you want some movement, if it's too much staying here, add that movement. Exhale, center, inhale, open. If it's comfortable, just stay here now. If you want to take it up a notch, you can hold the belt, it's in my left foot, with your right hand overhead, and bring that right foot more to the side and get a nice stretch through that right hip. So this is good for those of you who have some scoliosis in your spine. You might enjoy this variation for stretching into that right compressed side, or if you have compression in your right side. Otherwise, just stay in the regular version. It's the Parshva variation of this pose, the side variation. Feel that inner thigh, hamstrings. When you're ready, you're going to exhale, come to the center, and switch hands and come to the other side. This is working the outside of the leg and that outer hamstring. So we've got the middle one, the inner one, and the outer. Just come to here. The movement is inhale, center, exhale. Where can you go? Gets into that IT band, that hamstring. So if you have hamstring pain or tightness, it can be just one of these three that's a little out of whack and cause all sorts of trouble with our gait, with our lower back, with our hips. So we seem to be having a hamstring class, which is good as we move towards the hips, because this is starting to get into the hips, as you can feel. You can stay there, draw the toes back, try to draw that left hip to the ground and you'll get more deeply into it. You could have that left palm down to give you more support. Try to draw the left hip to the floor. Always bend that right leg if that feels better. All right. We're going to do all of this on the other side. And we're going to, the bigger twist all the way to the side, we'll save that till later. That definitely goes more into the hip. I'm going to flip my body around so you can see me better. And this time I'm going to actually put my left foot at the wall and show you that, because it's a really nice variation to do, to have your foot at the wall. So putting that belt on your right foot, all of this can be done, just so you know, with holding the big toe. So the classical is doing this kind of thing, but most of us don't have long enough arms and hamstrings to do that very well. So it's a nice variation. I think most of you probably will prefer the belt, but you're welcome to do the classical if you want. So just staying here, try to draw that right hip to the ground. And we're trying to get into the center hamstring, the central hamstring right there. It's also working with the calf and the foot. And that left foot, I'm also, it's at the wall, so I can kind of press it into the wall and keep the left lower back on the ground as well. Modify, exhale, bend. You can bend all the way like this if you want. Inhale, straighten. You could be holding the back of the thigh doing this. Those are modifications. After you've done about 6 breaths, maybe a bit more, grab your pillow or your block, put it on the outside of your hip, and open up that leg to the side and feel that groin stretching, as well as the inner hamstring. And notice if one side is different than the other. For me, it's quite dramatic because of my scoliosis. Some of you won't be that noticeable, but just go, oh, wow, that's really different, or it's the same. Just notice that for yourself. You can bring the foot a little higher. You could, again, be holding with the big toe, which for me is definitely a bigger stretch. You could also do that variation I mentioned for getting into the left lower back. You hold with the left hand overhead, right hand nearer to your foot. Try to bring that left elbow to the ground and bring the left foot towards the right, and stretch the left lower back and even upper back. So this is, I teach this for scoliosis. For those of you who have that, this can be very helpful. Otherwise, just stay in the regular pose. I'm going to do this on this side. So regular pose is just this Parshva variation of Eka Padangustasana Supta variation. And when you're ready, you're going to bring that leg across, switching hands from the right to the left, cross towards the left as you exhale. Inhale, center, exhale, cross, or if you're ready, just stay and try to draw that right hip down to the ground. That right palm can be facing down for more security. To open chest, it might feel good to have the palm up, so you decide. And now we're working that outer hamstring and the IT band. You can also bend and straighten if that feels better, especially if you have any sciatica, nerve pain. Keep it moving. Nerves don't like to be stretched in a static way. You want to keep them moving. So if you have any nerve pain, just remember whenever I stay in a pose, do the moving variation. Draw that hip down. I always think of these as great preparations for rotated triangle, standing, Trikonasana Parivriti. And when you're ready, coming back to the center, we're going to bring both legs into the belt. And keeping the hips down, can you exhale, bring the toes towards the nose? It's kind of like doing a seated forward bend, but lying down, and you don't get to round your back with this particular variation. So inhale, point the toes away, and exhale, bring the legs towards you, flex the toes towards your nose. Notice if one hamstring is tighter than the other. Maybe just stay in the position. Again, you could be doing this without a belt. And if it's comfortable, without the belt, inhale, open the thighs. You could be holding onto the big toes now. Hold onto the outsides of the thighs if you're very flexible and too flexible and you're hanging on your ligaments right now. Use those hands to support. Inhale, point the toes. Exhale, flex the toes and draw the legs together using that mula strength from the pelvic floor to the belly button. Inhale, open. You could be holding the big toes if you wanted to make this more about stretching. Exhale, draw the legs together. Doing it this way definitely helps you activate the transverse abdominis because you're moving side to side, and you can't use the rectus that goes moves laterally. So this, vertically. So we're working the lateral muscles, the lower abdominal muscles. Inhale, opening. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Again, I find this one very soothing to the nervous system as it really activates those grounding muscles. Pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. You might feel a bit of shaking. Hopefully you're feeling it all in your core. And inhale, opening. I'll just show the stretch version for those of you who want to do that. I definitely like this when I'm feeling tight. You feel really good. You can also do this at a wall with your legs on a wall and move your legs. And that's kind of a fun variation too. And when you're ready, finishing up. And bringing the knees into the chest. Let's do Apanasana, very simple. Inhale, knees away, Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. Draw everything in and up. Hold after exhale. And inhale away. You can try this without the hands to make you use your core more. Please relax the lower legs. It's not Pilates style with the legs up like this. Relax those lower legs. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, knees into the chest. Hold after exhale. 1, 2, inhale away. Exhale. Ujjayi pranayama, constricting the throat. Hold 3 seconds. Draw the belly in and up. Inhale. Could be doing this one side at a time if you prefer. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Draw everything in and up. Hold 4 seconds. Inhale. Next time we're going to move on the hold after exhale. So inhale, the knees are away. Exhale, in this position, stay here. As you hold the breath after exhale, move the knees towards the chest. And then inhale. This is why you're not supposed to eat before yoga. If you did, don't do this. You might get ill. Exhale, stay here. Hold after exhale and move your legs during that hold. Hopefully it will increase that mula effect, that mula bandha, root lock. Inhale, knees away. Exhale, stay here. Hold after exhale, draw the knees into the chest during the hold. And one last time, inhale. Exhale, stay. Hold after exhale, draw the legs in. And release. And rest. Just take a break, rest for a minute before we move into our last series. Feels better for you, you can have your legs bent. Just a mini Shavasana. I modify the Shavasana by having the feet at the wall just to keep the pelvis balanced, but you're welcome to do it classically, just like let the legs go out. Now let, exhale, go. Inhale, Om. Exhale, Namo. That's the Sanskrit for I surrender, I allow, and let things be as they are, and I stop fighting reality. I embrace what is happening outside of my control. Just allowing people to be as they are, situations to be as they are. And in that space, wisdom about right action may emerge. Our last pose, you're welcome to continue in Shavasana. I'm going to invite you to bring your legs up the wall. If you'd like to do one last pose. And for this variation, you can have your back flat on the ground or use a bolster or a pillow under the buttocks. Got your belt nearby. Bringing my left hip to the wall. Whatever hip goes to the wall, just bring that hip to the wall. So you're right snug against it. And then when you're ready, flip those legs up. And your hamstrings should be pretty chill after all of that. If they're still feeling tight, move the buttocks away from the wall until you can relax your legs. So you should feel no strain in your hamstrings. If you do, move away from the wall. So restorative poses like this are not meant to be stretches. They're meant to be relaxing. So we're going into the nerves, not the muscles. It's much more subtle. You're gonna lift the hips up, bring the bolster underneath. Legs are up. And you can walk yourself to the wall a bit. Your tailbone can be slightly off the bolster. It's basically to comfort for your lower back. Just adjust till your lower back's really comfortable. And then you can take that belt and you can tie your thighs or your ankles, or you can have two belts and do both. I like to tie my ankles. And if neither of those feels very comfortable, you can wrap your legs in a blanket like a mummy and hold them that way. You put a weight on your feet, a sandbag, bag of rice. You can put a weight, a pillow, or a block, or a sandbag on your belly. That can just help with grounding. Even this little pillow feels really nice. Just resting here, meditating. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. You can do this in Shavasana if you prefer. Inhale, Om. Exhale, Namo. Just feel any of the energetics, perhaps some sensation from the tailbone, energy going up the legs, out through the feet. That's the Apana Vayu. Sometimes you'll feel it more in one leg than the other. Your nervous system relaxes and grounds. Viparita Karani that we're in. Just encouraging the relaxation response. We decide to stay here a little bit longer as we close the class. If you are ready, start to increase the length of your breath. Maybe moving the hands, the feet, when you feel ready, bending your legs. Your legs are in the belt, just release that. It's okay on your neck, bring the knees to the chest, otherwise just bring the feet to the wall. So that can be too much for the neck for some people, and when you're ready, just gently roll to one side off that bolster. Just rest for a minute in side child. Come. Child's pose if that's comfortable. Thank you very much. Namaste.